Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Glad you made this in a social production. Wagwan to me familiar. To my wiggas, my chiggas, my niggas, and my biggas. That's my brown niggas. That's my chiggas is my Chinese / yellow niggas. The wiggas is obviously white niggas, and the niggas is my original black niggas. Shout out to everybody, wherever you're tuning in from. Holding it down. If it's here in Toronto, if it's in the Canada, it's Wagwan. Down south in the United States, as per usual, Wagwan. Further down south, Mexico. Over there in South America. Over there in Europe, Asia, Africa, Antarctica, Papua New Guinea, New Zealand, Australia. March the 5th, 2025. We're doing it. Subscribe on the YouTube channel so you get the full-length videos, my niggas. That's where it's at. My niggas is asking, is like, where can I check it out also, besides YouTube's? If you subscribe to the YouTube channel, you get the full-length videos. If you go to the Instagrams, you get it in chopped up pieces. Follow me there. And then what? Patreon.com/RobSadger if you'd like to physically, financially support the shows. Shout out to my niggas holding it up and holding it down. A lot of times people do shout people out and they're like, shout out to my niggas for holding it down. But what about the niggas that be holding it up? Wagwan. Mi familia, it's good to be alive and kicking. It's a blessed day today. We're already in March, man. It is. Spring is right around the corner. It's about to get sprung up in this bitch. Ladies and gents, my beautiful niggas, the sons and daughters of bitches out there, cousins, distant cousins, families, essentially, wherever you're tuning in from. Let's get right into it. We're gonna have a loose Wednesday, see how it goes. Have a little bit of fun, kick the old ball around, if you will. Pass the old ball around. Tell you right now, you're playing cards and you don't have the cards. We're playing cards. I know play cards. You're playing cards, I tell you, you're playing cards. It's a good game of cards, but you don't have the cards. I'm playing cards. You're playing cards, we're playing cards, you're not playing good cards. Why do I have to, will you tell me I'm not ready to play the cards? You tell me we play cards, I bring the cards, what kind of game? I don't believe I play cards, we never discussed playing cards, of course. But I hear now you tell me we play cards. We're playing cards, yes we are, we're playing cards. It's hit 'em up, it's a merry-go-round, it's cards, it's go fish, it's a little bit of poker. You gotta play poker? We're gonna play a little bit of poker then. It's gonna be a big game of poker. You're gonna like it. I know play cards. It's a beautiful game of cards. Life is but a game of cards. So play the hands you're dealt with. Or then if it's sometimes the hands don't go play all the way, the winner or lose, but then also there's gonna be other dealers. There's gonna be other dealers. So play your cards. But you're not playing because you don't have any cards. You want to play a card, you come to the card game without any cards. How you gonna play cards without no cards, man? I'm telling you right now. You're not playing cards without any cards. Cards are meant to be played with cards. You hold the cards and you play the cards. You don't hold the cards and you don't play the cards then. I don't understand what is this. You never told me we are playing cards. You tell me come Vilet. Zelensky, you tell me you come, I bring vodka, divide, we drink the vodka, we don't, you never mention any card, there's music, that's great. I wear something little loose, little, how you say, cash. Ladies and gents, it's Wednesday, but you gotta play the cards. I love it, because you don't even see, this is the, they say woke is dead, niggas is back. That's where it's at, I think. I believe it in my heart of hearts. I do believe it. Woke is dead, niggas is back. And that's what it is, man, because it's beauty. We never got to see, this is the most real, you can't even make this shit up on TV. This is it's the most entertaining piece of television ever. I just gotta tune in and watch say whatever you will, say however it's Trump is by far one of the most entertaining, presidents for sure, but entertainers in general. He goes on camera and it's just it's money, it's gold. You can't, fuck it, I don't know what to say. I'm speechless. I love it. Let's keep going. I like, you gotta play the cards. If you're not ready to play cards, then I told you it's gonna be strip poker. You're not ready to play strip poker, but if you're playing strip poker, you better be ready to get down to your undies. I want to see some legs. If we're playing the cards, you gotta show some legs. You can't come in and say, I want to play cards. We gotta play poker. It's nude poker. Strip poker, you're not willing to, you gotta let loose a couple of nips here and there, a couple of nuts. Put them on the table if you want to play the cards. We're gonna play cards. Don't tell me how I feel. You tell me how I feel. I'll tell you how you feel. Ladies and gents, it's March the 5th, 2025. Let's get into it, shall we, boys and girls? I'll tell you what. This podcast is by no means brought to you by anybody. It's not sponsored by anybody. Would any sponsors like to jump on board? We are more than willing to work with you. But I don't endorse products that I don't use. Personally, I don't endorse products that I don't use. Things that I do use, I'll go ahead and I'll back it up. I'll mention one right now. Not brought to you by Raid, but it could easily be brought to you by Raid. What am I talking about? RAID, Raid Bug Spray, ladies and gents. A few weeks ago, your boy started to develop a little bit of an ant problem in his unit, in his apartment, in his studio, in the compound, if you will, in the establishment that we are in, right? It got a little bit of ants. I don't know where they came from, doesn't matter. But I went online, went onto the Amazons. I shouted out my Unc Bezos, you got a can of bug spray in there, and he yelled it out to his dispatch. He's like, Jeff Bezos checking in. We're checking in for a bug spray. Anyone got bug spray? And there's little mom and pop shops all around the world. Say, ooh, pick me. Mom and pop shop sells loads of bug spray. Not gonna work, because we don't need mom and pop shops for bug spray. We get that shit. I don't know where we get it from. It doesn't matter. Probably from the manufacturer. I'm not sure if somebody holds it. It doesn't matter. Your boy got a Raid bug spray, and I sprayed it last night. I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen. This morning, no ants. Okay, if I'm being like 1 or 2 ants, which was good compared to the other days where it was a handful. It's a hand every day. Gotta kill at least 5 to 10, 20 sometimes. Ants, it's just. But I got the Raid bug spray. And now you too, this podcast is not brought to you by Raid bug spray. All right, my niggas? But it could be easily brought to you by Raid bug spray. You got a little bit of pest problem. You got roaches. You got a little bit of ants. You got termites. Raid bug spray. That shit will kill them all, or most of them at least, until the rest of them get the message. Raid bug spray. Brought to you by Raid bug spray. Tell you right now, you got a little ant problem, spray a little bit around the corners of your dwelling. Gone are the days of ants and ant colonies trying to colonize this shit, motherfucker. Get out of my space right now. Get out of my space. This right here is my space. That's what I says as I sprayed it, and went a little in my mouth too, which was nice. Little for you, little for me. It'll get rid of the bugs. Honestly, it doesn't say on the can, but I'm pretty sure your food is a little bit bland, whatevs. Spray a little bit of Raid on that shit, put a little bit of zest on it, yes. It's not advertised to be used on people, but I'm pretty sure if she's talking a little too much, right there, spray it in her face. That bitch should be talking so much, God. What about him? Him's talking too, a little bit too much. Spray a little bit of bug spray in his face right there in the facials. Brought to you by Raid. It's not gonna kill them. That's not what you want, but they'll definitely back off your grill and give you a little bit of space. Brought to you by Raid bug spray. Not meant for people, but who's stopping you from using it? Raid bug spray. Make friends with Raid bug spray. Your baby's crying too much? Right there. Raid bug spray. Knock them out. But that's Raid, man. I'm telling you right now, it works. I'm happy with it as a customer. I am leaving a 100% satisfaction, money back guaranteed. Buy Raid spray today, and if your bugs are not gone by tomorrow, we will guarantee your money back. We will give it back with interest. This is not something Raid is, of course, willing to put on the table, but I'm putting it on the table. Brought to you by Raid bug spray. Not meant for usage on people, but hey, why not? Ladies and gents, that's Raid bug spray, man. I'm just telling you right now. Go ahead and use it. Have fun with it. oh, I don't know where to get pepper spray in case there's like intruders or in case there's somebody like trying to like chase after me in a back alley. Have bug spray. It's larger cans, but it's a larger. The problem with pepper spray is this. It's little cans. Not good. It's not easy to handle. You want something big. Just spray it in their eyes. They'll go blind temporarily at least. And if they've got any pest issues, gone. You know, they'll be, maybe that's why they're on the streets trying to rob you. Oh, they can't take it anymore. So many bugs in my place. I just feel like going and robbing a person. They'll say that. A little bit of raid, gone. Your problems evaporated. Take care of it today. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are out there in the market, I'm telling you right now, if you're looking to get yourself a girlfriend or a boyfriend or down the line propose and get married, I thought about a sure way system to make sure that you are going to be happy with the product that you're purchasing today 20 30 years down the line, because a lot of people will get into it a few years and they say 2-3 years is like the testing. If you can make it past 2-3 years, you can probably make it up to at least 10, and then from then, you know, if you made it past 10, you can probably make it past 20, and then so on and so forth. But the 3 this day is what that, but then again, everybody's different. But I have heard that they say 3 years is the magic number. If you can stay in a committed relationship longer than 3, then you can probably do more. But what about long distance commitments? What about long term rather commitments? How do you know which, you know, how do you know? Because that's what I've also heard this saying. They say if you want to know what a bitch looks like, look at her mom's. That's the future. You're going to be looking at a relatively similar face / body in about 20-30 years. So if you're like, I want to commit to this bitch, well, have a peek at her mom's. That's what it is. That's what they say. Same concept. I've not heard this one. I've not heard the reverse of the referencing to the men's. You know, if you want to know what he's going to be like, look at his dad's. It does make sense, though. Kind of do look a little bit at it, maybe a little bit. It does hold true for ladies, for sure, 100%. Fellas, we need more research on that shit. But I said, you know what? We need to go a step further. Because it's Wednesday, of course, after all. We need to go a step further and be... I say this, if you propose to get married, once you put a ring on it, once you get engaged, I think it should be socially acceptable for you to go and fuck her mom, and vice versa. The lady should fuck your dad. That's just the way it goes. Because that's initially, yeah, whoever you're fucking right, that's going to be fine. That's your lover, that's your mate, that's your, you know, that's the friggin' lovebirds. That's whoever you want to, you know, that's your boo. That's your main bitch. That's your man's. But how do you know how it's going to turn out in 20-30 years without getting at least a taste for the product down the line, 20-30? One fuck. I said, I'm standing by this. I'm just putting it out there. It's nothing, you know, it's not sexual at all. It's just practical common sense, and it makes sense. You do the sex, but it's not for, you know what I mean? It's not like it's just for like, hey, how's this going to be in 20-30 years? Fuck a parent. Why hasn't this been on the table? Strap on a pair of condoms. Fuck a parent. Today, make sure the product that you're getting today will be as good, or at least it's not going to be as good. Some say it tastes better just like wine with a little bit of age, but I say buy fresh wine. Why do I got to get stale wine? Why do I got to get, you know, wine that tastes like mothballs in 20-30 years? Jump on an old badge. Fuck her mom. If she is dead, if she happens to be gone, she's out of the picture, find the closest next of kin, an aunt, an older cousin of sorts, a grandma that may still be lingering on. That for sure. If you really want to make sure, like, this is for sure the one. This is the one I'm going to retire with. On the lawn, on the porch, sitting back, swinging on some chairs and sipping Long Island iced teas. Thing, you go bang her grandma. Suck off his grandfather. If you really want to know if it's gonna, suck him off right now, because that's the commitment you should be. Because that's what's holding. You know, that's the future. The present is looking good. The present is fucking young. The present is vibrant. The present has got no, you know, varicose veins. It's got no fucking, you know, it's got no saggy tits. It's got minimal stretch marks. Maybe a couple of bumps, bruises here around the corner. You know what I'm talking about? Down the line, you accumulate over the years. It adds up. Suck his grandpa off right now if you really want to know what's in store for you in 20, 30, 50, 60 years. People romanticize about that shit, but they're not willing to go to distance. Make a difference. Do your due diligence. Do your own research. Fuck a grandpa today. Make sure you're investing wisely. That's just gotta help out. You know what I mean? It's just things you pick up along the way, and you're like, well, how do you just, how do you dispense? I think we should all be sharing game. That's why I'm just spitting game for the youngins out there. If you're coming up, if you're in your early 20s right now, you're like, I want to put a ring on it, do it, but also suck them off, the grandpa or the father or an uncle, or like, again, nobody in the family tree is alive. God, that's hard. Find somebody, maybe they got adopted, maybe find, it doesn't matter. Anybody, a parental figure, a guidance counselor they knew way back. Bank manager at the local bank, anybody who's at least an acquaintance, you know what I mean? Just get a taste for the future. You got to prepare yourselves. Ladies and gents, it's Wednesday. We're just getting started. We're just having a little bit of fun. Let's just get a sip of this bad boy right here. Yeah. Everybody loves fisting. Everybody loves wrestling. Which is why I thought to myself, why not combine the two? Best of both worlds. Fist wrestling. That's right. Let's just let's just eliminate the fat, if you will. That's industry speak. For the extra. Let's just get rid of it. Let's just get to the point. Everybody loves fisting. Everybody loves wrestling. Get rid of clothing items. Quit wanting to put people on their backs. What is putting people on their backs really try to convey? We fucking now. I put you on your back, I'm on top, you're on bottom, I'm on top. Reverse these, I'm on bottom, you're on top. Whoever, it doesn't matter. But the point is, flip it, reverse it, put it on their backs. Who's the winner now? You are. But I say take it to the next level. Take it to the next level, all right? We're either gonna do this right, or we're not gonna do it at all. Fist wrestling, you get into a wrestling match, whoever fists their opponent first wins the match. You're like, what qualifies as a fist? I'll tell you what. Pinky does not qualify as a full fist. You can get points. You can get up to 5 points. You're like, what if I put a pinky and maybe a middle finger in the butthole? Is that a fist? No, sir. No, madam. It's not a full fist. It's just 2 fingers. What about 3 fingers? What if I put the ring finger, the middle finger, and the pinky all in at once? Is that a fist? Close, but no cigar. Not yet. What about the index? I ran the, come on, 4 fingers. 4 fingers is plenty fingers, you'll say. It's not a full fist, is it? You're like, what about, okay, fine. Pinky, wedding ring, middle finger, index, and thumb. Is that a fist? I don't think so. What the judges are looking for is a full insertion of the fist up to the wrist. If you don't have your full wrist embedded in someone's asshole, then you are not playing fist wrestling properly. We got a lot of people who are wanting to be here. We got a lot of people who are hungry for this shit. We got a lot of people who really fucking want it. So don't come around here saying you're ready to throw down. Unless you're going to put a full fist up your opponent's asshole. Don't come around playing with the big boys thinking, I'm going to get away with it, just a pinky. I don't think so. This ain't your fucking local fisting wrestling match. This is the big times now. We're going deep. We're going super deep. You're like, what if somebody puts 2 fists? Then you've completely destroyed your opponent and they no longer can compete in fist wrestling. 2 fists, they're eliminated. Suspended for 10 years. Come back when you're ready to really play fist wrestling. The ultimate way to separate the chaff from the wheat. The weak from the strong. The tall from the short. That height doesn't have anything to do with it. We could separate by height. I don't care, to be honest with you. What I do care is that we put on a good show, that we put on the best sort of competition out there. And I thought to myself, what is it? Fisting, wrestling, makes sense. Combine an ultimate fist wrestling. Do you got what it takes? Are you practicing in the shadows, fisting yourself, fisting a family, family, you got a family farm with a couple of family farm pets, fisting a couple of pets? You think that's good enough? Oh, I fisted a donkey the other day. Oh, I put my entire arm up a cow's asshole trying to, take out the fucked up grass that he ate and ingested. Don't want him to get sick. Now you're chewing the grass. Now you're chewing it and spitting it back in his mouth and in his asshole because you still got to get the nutrients. You can't just take out the not so good grass. You got to put it back in there. So you can do all that. That's fine. But when it comes to the big times, if you really want to go down, you get in a ring. You take off your clothes and you get lubed up. And again, whoever fists first wins. No time limits. no edges to this ring. Like there is a parameter, of course, like it's not gonna be endless ring, or unless we could go endless ring. You'll be looped up and roll around the entire globe. This could go on for 36 days, 72 weeks. You'll just tumbling, rolling, trying to get, a couple of fingers slipped out once again. Try, tumble, roll, rehydrate, get in there, ding, ding. Whose turn is it? It's your turn. Are you ready to put a fist up someone's ass? If the answer is yes, then the ultimate fist wrestling competition is asking for you, son. Get in there, lady. You've always heard the term rape van. You've heard it, I've heard it. That's a rape van. They'll say that consumers of vans, typically rapists and soccer moms, the two biggest demographics that purchases vans. But I said to myself, why? I mean, the soccer mom makes sense. Got to put a lot of kids in, take them around. Juice box for you, cleats for you, shin pads, all that good. But the rape van, how did it get designated as the official vehicle of rapists or people who like to do the raping? Let's just, I said to myself, do I take this at face value? Do I just believe what I hear? Or do we got to do our own research? Which is why I decided, send a whole group of researchers and scientists and ask them to do the test themselves. Go ahead. Find which vehicle is actually the most adequate, most suitable for rape. I told them, do not worry about money. Money is not a concern for us. Get into as many vehicles as possible and rape as much as you can. Figure out which vehicle is actually the optimal rape vehicle. Because I can't be in a society in 2025 living around thinking that rape vans are the optimal vans/vehicles for rape. Meanwhile, out there, without the research, there might be a tractor ideal for rape. And you're just like, rape vans, I gotta purchase a rape van. I guess I gotta go buy a van. You might have to go for a tractor. Did you know that? You didn't know that, but our researchers went out there and they tested it all out. And the results speak for themselves, all right? If you're talking about, quantity, then a rape van is just not gonna cut it. If you're talking about quantity, then buses are probably optimal for. Then you should purchase a bus for your raping. If you're talking quantity, we're not talking quality rapes. We're talking quantity. We're going for numbers. Then the bus, double-decker bus. Redo the interior. Make sure there's plenty of room. Maybe remove a couple of seats, but also keep as many seats as possible. Because again, what we're going for here is what? Not quality, rather quantity. So the rape bus might be the optimal choice for you if the numbers is what you're after. Okay. What about something that's a little bit, what about an average everyday sedan? Could you rape in a sedan? We put it to the test. Our scientists went out there and did the research. And it turns out, ladies, you can totally rape in a regular sedan. Doesn't have to be a van. A lot of people don't, because vans typically do cost a little bit more than a sedan. And some people are like, I don't have that kind of budget. Do not let money get in your way. Okay, sedans are probably for the economical rapists. So I'm just letting you know right now. Works, again, the van does hold a little bit more space. You get a little bit more elbow room. You get a little bit more room to work with. The sedans do work just as well. Like, what about motorcycles? I'm glad you asked. Our scientists and researchers went out there and tried it on motorcycles as well. It still works. Quantity has drastically gone down. Quality, surprisingly enhanced. Because you got the whole, you're out in nature. There's not much restriction in terms, as long as you got a little place to mount somebody on, then you got plenty of, and it's outside. That's the beauty of it. A lot of times people inside vehicles don't get to actually share the experience with bystanders and onlookers or, an audience, if you will. But on a motorcycle, you're out there and the wind is in your hair, your cock is in someone's mouth, and it's you and nature, essentially. If you want a little bit more room in terms of being able to move your body around, then kind of go with the bike. I'd go with the bike, all right? And there are people who are like, you know what? Is there something else around that's available to me It's not a vehicle, it's not a bike, but still travels. And is maybe not located on the ground. And I said to myself, yes. If you're looking for height, if you're looking for altitude, airplanes, great place for rapes. Lot more numbers can be, we're talking 100, 200, 300 people. So that's way more people than a bus, than a van. And the beauty of it is, you're up in the air. So what even is that? Exactly. So there you go. You have all these options available to you, but society, we've just been kind of like, weighed down by the restrictions, the boxes that we put on ourselves and each other. Get in a van. It's airplanes. They work perfectly fine. Way more people available to you. And you're like, is there anything more? What if I want to set a record? There are options available to you. Giant super yachts. You can totally rape on giant super yachts. 500 people easily. Mega cities on water. Entire floating vessels. Rape city essentially. And there you go. All this time, you're like, if I want to, is it too late? Where can I start? Does it need to be a van? Does it need to be white? It could if you want to go trad rape. But if you want to do, unconventional alt rape, then you can go airplanes. Trains are great. Trains are fantastic. Trains, because you got compartments, you got different parts, and you're on tracks, and that's the beautiful. Because you get on a train, you're not worried about am I gonna go. You know which way you're going, you know which direction you're going, you know exactly what track you're on. No swerving off to the side of the road, no turbulence like you get in the modern air travel. And all that, none of that disturbances. You can just, and those are also high numbers as well. Not to say that there's no quality in train rape. Plenty of quality, because you're stable on the ground. It's stable. I get it. Turbulence in the air might, be a little bit of, this is kind of throwing me off my game. Trains, optimal. Go from one carriage to the next. New set of people. Surprise them. Boom. Hundreds of people. Go ahead, get dirty, and don't limit yourself. You have more options. It's not just the rape van if I want to get out there and do your thing, okay? Don't limit yourself. There's plenty of vehicles. Ladies and gents, what's going on a little bit in and around the world? I'll say this. There was I love the parliaments in and around the world. Different countries, of course, hold different parliaments. It was nice. I got a glimpse into the Serbian parliament just a couple of days ago, maybe a day or two ago, it doesn't matter. Parliamentarians were discussing, regular sides and the opposition, or I guess just two sides. I don't know how many sides there are, but there were people in there. There were parliamentarians in the parliament of Serbia. Next thing you know, smoke bombs go off, smoke grenades go off in the parliament. You don't get to typically see smoke bombs in a parliament. Smoke bombs, you'll see them in stadiums and soccer games in Europe. They're often used to, enhance the gaming experience, or, kind of like throw off one of the teams, or just kind of celebrate. You're having a good time. Your team's winning. Your team's down. Fucking throw a hand grenade in there. It's a smoke bomb. It's a little bit harder to see what's going on. Where's the ball in the back of your net? Who's winning now, motherfuckers? Doesn't matter. A smoke bomb went off few of them went off, not just one. A few of them went off in the parliament. I'm glad to see that, to be honest with you. I think anytime you're having a discussion with people, if you are having a difficult time getting through to the other side, honestly, I can't believe I didn't think of this myself, but smoke bombs do bring people closer together, and it can be seen in sports. We've been using it for a long time, many a decades. So start using smoke bombs in your daily interactions. Smoke bombs should be in every meeting room, in every office building. Smoke bombs should be used in, universities, colleges. Trying to get a point across to the children that you're teaching. Professor, throw a smoke bomb right at their face. Boom, what is that? That's the alphabet. That's the periodic table. That's the hypothesis. Where's your thesis? Source it, bitch. Smoke bomb right in their face. A lot of times people are like, I don't know if I can ever agree with a person. Get in a smoke bomb situation or a room filled with smoke, and you'll notice whoever you were disagreeing with, you will soon become your collaborators, your co-conspirators, your friends, your amigos, your niggas. That's what it is. Come closer together, use a smoke bomb. Do not get, shy with it. The more smoke, the more clarity, the closer people, and it's just fun. It's just why should clubs be, or sporting events, or maybe sometimes the holidays, maybe you might, fire up a couple of firecrackers, which might cause a little bit of smoke, but it's not the same. Why should sports events and concerts and clubs be the only events where you see smoke bombs? Are your children in the living room? Chuck a smoke bomb right there. Oh, quit playing on your devices, children. You'll tell them that. Get outside. You're having a difficult time to get them outside. Smoke bomb right in the living room. They'll be outside. They'll be playing. Your husband's not leaving the couch because he's been working way more from home than he used to. Smoke bomb right on right on his lap. Smoke bomb. Husband's out. Your lady's been getting comfortable in her body. She's gained a couple of pounds. Smoke bomb. Get her outside running. Friends and family come over for Thanksgiving, birthdays, Valentine's Days, anniversary parties, divorce parties. They're lingering on way too long, not getting the hint as to when they should be leaving. Smoke bomb. Family members, friends, gone. Funeral taking way too long to finish up. Wrap it up. Put them in the ground already. Smoke bomb right there. Enhance your experience today. Business deals not going so well. Smoke bomb. What's in there? The contract. Who's grabbing my hand and signing these papers? I can't tell. It's a smoke bomb in here. Sign the papers. Get out. Let's merge the companies. But that's just smoke bombs. It should be a little bit, it should be used a little bit more. That's all I got to say. Shout out to the Serbs. I've been to your country, beautiful people. Men who appreciate a good mustache. Thank you very much. But that's just a little bit of Serbian news. Globally, we are connected, touching each other one way or another.
And that's how you play cards. If you want to play a card, you bring the card. We play goldfish. We play roll the dice. I play all sorts. I own a lot of gambling casinos. We can play all sorts of. If you want to play roulette, we'll play roulette. You gotta tell me which game you want to play, and we'll play that game. When you tell me you want to play cards, you play cards with cards. You don't shoot a card game without any cards. You can't play it. You're not holding cards. I'll turn you into a card. What's behind your ear? What's this? It's a card. Flip it over. On the back is my number. You can contact me on the number on the back of the card. You want to enter this building? No key access. It's a keyless access. You got to get a card. Want to stay at the hotel above the casino? Use a card. Take a card. Swipe it. Get entrance into the building. Go to your suite. Have a good time with your wife, with your guma. Enter the card.
Ladies and gents, we are experimenting. We are experimenting with animals, as you are all aware. We're trying to get the woolly mammoth back, which is nice. Some people say we got plenty of animals. Some people say we're lacking animals. We've lost too many, and we're trying to bring the woolly mammoth back. In the process, we've gone ahead and created woolly mice instead. We're not there. We're not quite yet there with the woolly mammoth, but we got ourselves a woolly mice. Scientists and researchers are working on genetically modifying animals to see whether or not they can change them and essentially bring back woolly mammoths down the line. But now we're experimenting with mice. We've altered the genetic makeup of the mice. The mice have grown beautiful, thick coats of hair on their bodies. They're woolly mice. That's what they're called. They never existed before. Now they're out here. We've created a whole new brand of mice. They actually look fucking cute and adorable. Regular mice, I like them in movies. I prefer them in cartoons. Close by, near my sight. Get out of here. Punt a rat. I'll punt a rat right now in the jaw. I don't want them near me. But mice with wool on them. It's fucking cute. It does kind of look like a hamster, which, by the way, I'm kind of like thinking about it now. Maybe the scientists and researchers are just like, getting a small hamster and telling me it's some woolly mice. Because is that what you guys are doing with my money? Am I funding this research and you're coming back and showing me regular hamsters and they're not woolly mice? If I find out it's not woolly mice, if I find out genetic makeups were not altered, I will crack the whip. But also, I'll encourage you to continue to do your research. I do want to see woolly mammoths, but it's nice to see that we do have it. They're trying to see if the mice are actually becoming a little bit more resilient to cold temperatures and if they like their hair now. The mice have yet to actually come back with any sort of, feedback. We're trying to figure it out. It's one step at a time. It's nice. While we're on the subject of wool, can we get, as you've been with your boy for some time from the get-go, your boy has an affinity for a big, thick bush over the vag. I like a thick bush. I like a nice, beautiful European style, Africana. Just a nice, beautiful Middle Eastern, just a South American. You wrap it. I like myself an Eskimo bush. Bush and I like bush. What can I tell you? I love bush. Can't get enough. So I'm just putting it out there while we're working with science and all. If we can generate a couple of, can we alter female genetics just so we get like woolly vag bush? Woolly vag bush. Telling you right now, it's a game changer. No more curly or straight, just a lush, thick, something you can put your hands through. You know what I'm talking about? Like, hold on to, grab on and ride it. Really ride it. She'll try to kick you off like a bull. And you got yourself a nice, thick bush made of wool. You're not going nowhere. You're locked in now. You're in the zone. You're not going nowhere. So if we could maybe forgo the whole woolly mammoth thing. If we could just actually concentrate on woolly bush, I think that's a bigger W than the woolly mammoth. To be honest with you, they take up a lot of space. I'm not even quite sure why we're bringing them back, but a woolly bush, that is something the entire populace is just thirsting for. They may not say it, but I know, I listen. I don't care what they say. They're like, we don't want it, shave it. But deep down inside, they're saying, grow it thicker. That's what they really want. So bring back the woolly bush. Tired of Merkins not doing it. It's not cutting it. It's not good enough. Get in there, woolly bush for the females. Males, I don't really care, to be honest with you. I'm not in that business. If you like to rock it, of course, if we've got the technology for the ladies, I don't see why we should actually stop and not give it to the men's as well. Give them a full woolly bush too. If they want it, they got it. Ladies and gents, it's woolly bush time. Get out there to your local jurisdictions. Talk to your local, constituents, talk to your local council members, get the message out. What do we want? Woolly bush. When do we want it? Now. When do we want it? Like right now. How much do we want it really bad? Give us the woolly bush. Woolly bush. Give it to us. We want it. The people have spoken. I'm tired of, cut the red tape. Cut the restrictions. The bureaucracy needs to go now. Woolly bush is what the people said they want. We will give it to them. Clock is ticking. Ladies and gents. There should, of course, be if you go out there and adopt a child, there should be I'm not quite sure how it works, to be honest with you. Because I've thought about this down in my, I'm not I don't really care for having my own children in terms of my genetic children, my own biological children. Down the line, I would, if I'm 97 and a trillionaire, when I'm 97 and a trillionaire, I might want to adopt a few children's. But I also thought about, even if it's not just for me, for other people as well, if you're out there in the market, there should be a refund, exchange, program. I'm not quite sure how it works, but you should be able to because that's the thing. You never talk about these things. People never talk about these things. You're like, oh, I'm looking to adopt. Is there a refund policy? Is there an exchange policy? Could you take it back? How long do you have? What's the appropriate time to exchange? Because what if it's a shit one? What if it's not one what if you thought it's gonna be one way and then we need a certain amount of days for you to be able to return and or exchange the child you adopted. I'm not quite sure if there is one. I'm pretty sure the process is it's rigorous, it's time consuming, you gotta do a lot of paperwork, a lot of background checks, all that jazz, yes, money spent, all that, yes. But also from a consumer perspective, from a parental consumer perspective, there should be a sweet little spot where you're 3 to 7 days, you can, bring it back, get another one if you don't like it. What if they kick too much? What if they're a kicker? Walking around, they're just kicking on the first day you meet them, no kicking. Second day you bring them home, they start kicking shins. What if they're major kickers? Huh? You're like, oh, this one's gonna be a soccer player. This one's gonna be a punter in a football team. This one's gonna be a runner. They're just kicking shins all day, every day for 2 days straight. Return them on those 7 days. 7 days. I'm not quite sure. Leave a comment if you think 7 days is adequate enough. Like 2 weeks. 2 weeks. You get up to 2 weeks to return, exchange, refund, full refund. You know what I'm talking about? Because yeah, what if you get them and like, you know, you go in initially thinking they look like you, then you come and like place them around the furniture and they just don't blend well. You know what I mean? What if it doesn't go well with your furniture? You know what, could you imagine just throwing a party, people coming over and like the furniture's all looking nice because you got a whole setup in your place, and next thing you know, whoa, what is this? And it just sticks out like a sore thumb, doesn't blend in with the furniture. God, killing the vibe. What is this? They'll ask. It's my child, you'll say, who doesn't blend in with the matching furniture. God. You know what I mean? What if they're droolers? What if they drool in their sleep? What if how would you know? You wouldn't know until you bring them home. You wake up next morning, the whole pillow's covered in drool. What if you like the kid to adopt, but they're now big time droolers? How long is that gonna last? Is it a phase? Ugh. So there should be I'm just saying, some people might like the drool. Some people might be like, oh, we didn't even expect this kid to drool, but he's a big time drooler. Love my little drooler, you'll say that, but there should be, 7 to 14 days, 2 weeks, refund, exchange, full, I'm not talking about anything. You can't, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, it's yours. You can't bring it back after 2 weeks. That's yours now. That's your problem. It's your blessing now. It's your blessing now. Most often they work out really well, but I'm just saying there should be, I'm not quite sure, maybe there is a refund exchange policy. I've never even actually looked into the matter at hand in depth, but if there isn't one, then put it on there. Refund exchange policy, 14 days. 14 days, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 7 to 14 days. That's adequate. I think that's fair. Oftentimes, a lot of people are like, oh man, when I'm conducting my phone calls, whether it's to my loved ones, relatives, family, friends, acquaintances, business partners, whenever I'm conducting phone calls, specifically FaceTime, sometimes I have a difficult time conveying my message through the FaceTime. There's that missing link in between. There's something in there that you can't even put a word on it. You can't even physically, tangibly touch it. It's not there. Something right there is missing. It's that physical aspect of being present physically with somebody and making that emotionally felt connection that's missing from phone calls, texting, and even FaceTime. But I did a lot of soul searching over the past few days, and I said, could we do something to enhance our FaceTime experience when we're talking to our loved ones, when we're talking to our friends, family members, co-workers, bosses? Could we really bring it in and actually make them connect through this digital device that's cold, that's maybe a little bit heartless, that doesn't have any, yeah, sure, the person's right there, they're looking at you through the camera, but it's not the same as being present in there. Somebody is deep throating somebody in the background. I don't know if that got recorded. We got people in the compound that deep throat in the background. I don't pay them. They don't contribute to the show, but every once in a while they get free dwelling and I ask them to just gag on a cock and make gagging noises. So if you heard that in the background, you're like, that was just the pipes. Nah, somebody was deep throating somebody in the background. It's that kind of podcast. It's that kind of compound. It's that kind of show. Nobody else has people gagging on their show, do they? Brought to you for your enjoyment, brought to you by Raid, not just meant for pests, ants, cockroaches, for people to raid. Where were we, ladies and gents? That's right, phone calls. Before we get sidetracked. How could you make a more convincing phone call? How could you make a more meaningful connection through a FaceTime? What I decided to do is experiment, and I found out that if you conduct your phone calls and FaceTimes in the toilet, in the bathroom, sitting down while taking a shit, lower your hand into the toilet bowl. Get a good, so that your actual crotch, your vag, your asshole, your cock could actually be seen on the camera, and then your face will be, you're looking at your face from the bottom now. rather from the top. Your look at the phone is at the bottom, your face is at the top. Typically, that's how it works. Classic phones. But if you hold your hand in the toilet bowl as you're taking a hot deuce, you'll notice people will gravitate towards the conversation more. Next thing you know, friends and family members are just freaking out, wanting more of you. Oh my God, what is it? It's more connections. That's what it is. What is this? What is this? Oh my God. Oh my God. Just ecstatic to see more of you. That's what they're wanting. That's really what they've just been asking for all this time. You're like texts, phone calls, FaceTimes. What is it that people want? Why not just make one phone call and get it all over with? Why is it sporadic phone calls throughout a lifetime? Why not just make one meaningful phone call or FaceTime? You know what I mean? So next time you're in the office, your boss calls you on your work phone, go into the bathroom stall, sit down, lower your underwear and your pants, of course. As you're taking a hot deuce, as the shit is coming out your asshole, right? A little bit of your intestine is just peeking out from the side of it, just a little bit of, it's the inertia, that's what it is, just too much force. The velocity is just pushing your intestines out a little bit. You've aged now, it's normal, it's fine, intestines are fine, you're not prolapsing fully, of course, this is not a full bloom, but nonetheless, you're showing pink, and that's what they want. Have the conversation with your hand in the toilet bowl, zoom it all in there. Next thing you know, you flushed, you brushed, you've cleaned your hands, you've washed, and you walk down the hallway into your boss's office, and there's a little teardrop right on the corner of his eye. He's at a loss for words. He says, leave the office. And look at you now. Look how close you guys are. No longer having to show up to, nonsensical meetings or redundant, just like, oh, where are you at, micromanage? They know where you're at. You got that bond now. Does your family know you love them? Does your family really know that you love them? Have that conversation with your hand in the toilet bowl. Show your wife, show your husband, your aunts, your uncles, your relatives. Show that you care by placing there. Trust me, I did the research so you don't have to. I know you're busy out there. You don't have time to do the actual research. But the stats speak for themselves. People love it when you place your phone inside the toilet bowl. If you're bleeding from your vagina, because it's that time of the month, which you keep using as an excuse, month after month after month, it's like you do it once. It's like, all right, you do it twice. We're like, okay, I guess. But every month, the same excuse, without people actually seeing it. You want people to buy that shit? I don't think so, lady. But you know who will appreciate it, who'll trust you more? Anybody you're interacting with. Place your hand in the toilet bowl as your tampon is just squeezing out it's just coming out the side of the vulva. It's a meaty chunk of, what is it? It's a blood clot. Closer together. Bonds formed. Relationships tightened. Senses of community strengthened. God damn it, we're doing it. I think we're doing it one step at a time together, ladies and gents. We're doing good things. They said you'll never put your phone in the toilet bowl. It doesn't belong in there. When you listen to your heart, you know it belongs in there. There's a dirty big secret that they've tried to keep from you, that they just want it for themselves. They're the ones out there. Who are they? The people who put their hands in the toilet bowl. That's who are having all the fun, recording all the action, and depriving you and your loved ones of a full human experience. So please, conduct a phone call from the toilet bowl today. FaceTime. Make the difference. Be the change. They say by 2030, half the US population is going to be obese. By 2030, that's in, not too long. That's in 5 years. By 2030, half the US population will be obese. I take the US population and I use it as a sample to kind of just have a look at the rest of the world. Although it's not the same, you could say that a lot of people are, if the US is leading in any industry, other countries follow suit. So although other countries may not be up there at the 40 or 50% obesity rate, they're not too far behind. It is a new thing that's we do have ample amounts of food, which is a blessing. But at the same rate, that's half the population that's going to be obese by 2030. And I'm not going to just stand here and say I'm happy with that. I'm not going to say that 50% is going to cut it. What's holding us back? What do we have to ask to recognize that what we're doing is maybe not fully correct, maybe not on the right path? Why do we have to wait so long? First of all, 5 years, you're telling me 50%? Why can't we do more? Why can't we in 2030 have 60% of the population be obese? Or 70? Or 80? Or 90? Fuck it, by 2030, why can't we have the entire population be obese? Why must only half the population be obese, ladies and gentlemen? Why must we limit ourselves to statistics and researchers and scientists in white suits who tell us that you can only do 50%? Putting boxes around us, limiting us, telling us that no, you can't, that's your limit, there's no more than that, 50% by 2030. I say if we put our minds to it, if we come together, if we unite, and really work hard at it, really get up every day with the aim of saying, hey, I'm part of a community. I'm part of something bigger than myself. I'm part of obesity. Instead of going on pills, instead of going on diets, instead of looking out for your own best interest and health, look around you, man. Look around you, lady. Half the population is going to be isolated. Is going to be feeling just left out of the party. Why? Do we not have enough food for a full 100% of people to be obese? Make the difference. If you see somebody that's not on their path to obesity, grab a whole lot of food, force feed them. Maybe you're obese now. It's time for you to say, hey, I've reached my limit. Let me be of assistance to others. Get a whole turkey, make a turkey. Don't just wait around for Thanksgiving. Make a full turkey. Find somebody who's on their way and is maybe struggling a little bit. Shove a whole turkey in their face, in their mouth. Chew it for them. Whip them. Get a drumstick. Shove it in their mouth. Get them to chew on one side. You chew on the other, but don't swallow yourself. If you're obese, spit the chewed food back in their mouth. Let them get the food faster. IVs, you can actually inject yourself with, all sorts of liquids. Put something high calorie in there. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, I gotta get my vitamin waters. Fucking get fat. Get really fat. Get a 50%. I'm not happy with that shit. 50% is nothing. It's barely a passing grade. All right, we should be at least 75% obese by 2030. That's not even good enough. I want a full 100%. Why are we eating regular food? You should just be consuming lard and fat and blubber. If there is a juicy, girthy animal and you have access to lots of the fat, eat the fat and share the fat with your family, friends, relatives. Start with your local circle and expand, okay? 50% of population, and we're just satisfied with that? You just look at our brethren and our sistren who are not obese and say that's okay? I don't think so. Not on my watch. I don't fucking think so. Ladies and gents, I believe the Oscars were on over the weekend, which was, I didn't check them out because I'm not a homosexual. I support it though. homosexuality, that is. Not for myself, but for other people, I do support it. But nonetheless, I did not watch the Oscars because, you know, people won, people lost. People lost, people won. That's typically how it goes. I was tempted to watch it. I'm not gonna lie to you. Just because I'm not keep it $1.50 because of Conan O'Brien, and I did because Affinity. I love him. Grew up with him since child. One of those people you watch on the telly and the cartoons and the shows and the lates and the shows and the tonights and all of it. It's good. I love him. Many others too that I love, but I wanted to check it out because I'm like, oh hells yeah, Conan O'Brien's gonna be a host. It's gonna be fun. But then I had a difficult time watching it. Couldn't find it. I don't have cable or anything, so I'm just like, oh, is there anywhere I can stream it? And just it turned into a thing. I'm like, fuck it, never mind. I'm just gonna jerk off. I just jerked off like a gentleman instead. I did watch the monologue, which was nice, which was good. I liked the monologue. Did not watch the Oscars. I did catch a couple of people winning, giving their speeches. Things that stood out for me. Kieran Culkin won supporting actor, if I'm not mistaken, best supporting actor award, which was nice. He gave a speech, beautiful speech, demands children from his wife. If his wife doesn't deliver on the babies, there will be ramifications, there will be repercussions. These are actors. They don't just say things, they mean it. There will be, do not get fooled by the, boyish good looks and the charm and the talent, and she will pay a hefty price, I'm sure of it. You have to read between the lines and see behind the eyes. And I'm telling you right now, if she said that she'll give him more she's got to deliver babies. He's got the Oscar now, and if you don't get him babies, lady, I think there's gonna be, I don't know what will happen. I don't know what will happen. But I'm sure it'll work itself out, ladies. But that's, that was beautiful. Supporting actor roles are typically people who are supportive, like in terms of like there's actors, and then they're all actors, and then there's supporting actors. But then like every actor is dependent on the other actors to make a whole production, which is a movie. So I guess in a sense you could say every actor is a supporting actor, unless they're not supportive people, unless they're not supporting unless they're like, unless they're those actors that, make other actors' jobs more difficult, then they're not supporting actors, I guess. I guess if they're like, in front of their face supporting actors, but like behind their backs, they're like metaphorically or literally stabbing them in the back, then they're not supporting actors. Supporting actors are people who you can, if there's like a wall to climb, they're the people who like hold out their hands and like cup their hands together like this and say, here, take a step, put a foot up on these hands and put another foot up on my neck and climb this wall. Those are supporting actors. Supporting actors, if there's like a earthquake and there's like furniture and like babies falling off the wall, they'll like hold it up with like one hand. So there's I'll save your boss. I'm supportive. Or like, I guess boss versus baby. Which one do you hold up? The obvious answer is the old piece of china there, because that's fucking, you can't put a price on an old piece of china that might fall and shatter. Babies, jizz them out. There's plenty of babies that could be made in the future. We can print babies now. We can legit make CRISPR printed babies now. They're cheap. They don't mean anything anymore. We make them in labs. We got furry mice. Woolly furry. Can we make wool people? Holy shit. Are we going to have wool people? Are we going to have wool people? Because I thought we're just going to go full wool bush. But I'm not even in the furry community. But if we can get furry people. Or is this how they're fucking like waiting to just kind of like release Sasquatch to us? Be like, here's Sasquatch. And they'll say it's just a new developed human that's a woolly human, but it's really Bigfoot. I've not gone down the whole. It's not my thing. Bigfoot is not my thing, but I have heard of that, of course. Which if you lived on planet Earth, there's, do they exist? Do they not exist? Doesn't matter. The point is that we can have wool people or fur people, and instead of them getting into costumes, we can have full-blown wool fur people. Doesn't matter. Kieran Culkin won, congratulations. Other people who won, also congratulations. Adrian Brody won for Best Actor for Brutalist, which is, I've not seen any, I don't think I've watched any of the movies that were actually nominated or won, to be honest with you. I have my own other stuff that I watch, and maybe I'll watch other stuff later too. Who knows? But not many of some of the names of the movies that won and were nominated, I don't know. Again, I'm not a homosexual, but that's not the point. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, that the Brutalist won. What is the Brutalist? The Brutalist is about a man and his buildings. He was an immigrant building builder. He was an architect or an architect or an architect. He had scoliosis. There was an arc in his back. It's about I've not seen it, but I'm assuming it's about an architect with scoliosis and pink eye who is also gay. Maybe the buildings he created were also gay. He made super gay buildings. He couldn't make gay buildings in the Eastern Bloc or in Europe. Fucking hard times. Comes over to America, builds gay buildings. Yeah. And the buildings are still up, and you could see them jerking off in each other's face and just fucking going to building glory holes and sucking off other buildings. It's a beautiful festival and celebration of buildings and architecture and architects. So Adrian Brody won, which was nice. Congratulations. He did a few things which were notable that I'm going to speak upon, that we should just, he got nominated, then called on to go because he won. As he's going on stage, he turned around. If you've not seen it, I recommend you go check it out. Videos in broad daylight. He does it in broad daylight. Turns around and spits back to the people, indicating, signaling that you're lesser than me. Let me spit on. Spit what seemed to be gum or cum. We don't know. The people don't know. We want answers, Adrian Brody. But he spat on people as he's walking up the stairs, telling people, without telling people, I am better than you. Right there, you losers. He spat on people, which was nice. He's a lengthy man. He's got a long torso. He's got long legs. And now he's got one of the longest speeches for the Oscars. He set a world record, I think, for one of the longest speeches for the Oscars. He's got a long nose. He's a long-nosed man. There's, detectives are working on it. They're trying to figure out if there's a correlation or a causation between having a long nose and one of the longest speeches in human history. The Oscars finished and Adrian Brody was still giving his Oscar speech. It's still actually going on. There are children who are waiting for their parents to get home, starving to death, audience members who have remained behind just to kind of see if it's ever gonna, they're now bleeding from the ears and their eyelids are also, they're bleeding from their eyes. It's crazy. Adrian Brody is just setting the record. So he said, it's not my first rodeo. And this is again after he spat on the audience. This is not my first rodeo. They tried to shut him off or cut him off with some music. He said, turn this shit off. It's my stage now. I'm a long tall. That's what he called it. I'm a long tall with long nose, and I'll give a long speech if I feel like it. Not my first rodeo, bitch. He said that just like that, or something similar to it. He thanked his parents, and that was good. And he got teary-eyed. I do like when people get teary-eyed. I myself get teary-eyed every time I am, touching myself. But that's aside. I do like when I see people getting awards when it looks like you're kind of like, I like the emotion that gets emoted, that makes it seem like you've been held hostage when you're thanking everybody and everything, and it just like, it looks like if you say the wrong thank God, they're just gonna boot you. You gotta show gratitude. You gotta show how grateful you are. You gotta show gratitude, show great gratitude, and you gotta kind of look thankful, but also like really like it seems like something's just like about to pop off, and if you don't say the right thing, or it's just giving me that vibe. It's giving me like, happy hostage vibes. It's like a just a little, it doesn't, I don't know what it is. It gives me a little bit like, Stockholm Syndrome vibes. It's like, I'm happy to be here, and this is really, I'm so thankful, and my eyes are watery, and I don't know what to say, but thank you for my parents, and everybody is so beautiful who worked. You guys are the best. I don't know, it was great. It was great. But nonetheless, he's still giving the speech. Congratulations to everybody. And that's all I know about the Oscars. I don't care. Whatever. Ladies and gents, I did see a video that popped up on the internet. That's typically where videos pop up on. It's a good thing they pop up on the internet and not anywhere else, because that'd be a little bit scary actually. If you're just like walking, no internet video, that's like, ugh, what is this? Nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, this video was depicted a few days ago, and it showed a trans athlete, a young trans athlete. I think it was a high school kid who was a trans athlete. Tranny young man, boy, girl, tranny, doesn't matter. Won the high jump and the long jump competition, smoked all the bitches. Smoked all them hoes in high school. Did it. And this is where we're at right now. I don't know. Obviously, we want everybody to like compete in sports and everything. We have refused to, over the past few years, as the discussion has been going, we've refused to collectively create transgender leagues. We've refused to give them their own leagues. So they're in it with the chicks. They're in it with the young ladies. They're in there with the bitches. They're in there doing tranny things with bitches, which is fine, I suppose. Now is the time I say, you're like, oh, what about my daughter's scholarship? What about my daughter's chance at getting out there and like, you know, practicing to build her self-esteem and having her own space with her own female, you know, friends and, you know, whatever, sports mates and all that stuff. And what about the future? She's like, she wants to do track right now or basketballs, and this other, you know, tranny kid is coming here and just dunking on bitches and just swinging balls all over the place. I don't know what the deal is, but yes, we've refused to build their own league, and doesn't seem to be, you know, change takes time until it does. In the meantime, if you're in the present, you're like, what if I want a solution now? I got you. Your niggas got you. I got you, my niggas. I got you. You gotta just put your child on massive amounts of steroids. That's right. If your daughter is not on Test 300, if your daughter is not on DECA, if your daughter is not on Winstrol, if your daughter is not on TRT and Diana Ball, if she's not on a full stack, then to be honest with you, I gotta just throw my hands up in the air and say, maybe your daughter doesn't really care about sports as much as you have made it out in your mind that, you know, that she cares. It's not important to her. Otherwise, she'd be taking mad amounts of steroids, okay? She's in high school, I understand that. It's right now, it's the present. In the future, it might change. There might be a trans league in the future. But in the meantime, until we figure it out, while there are guys competing with young girls, if you want your young girl to have a chance, I'm still not saying that they're gonna go ahead and win against a biological male, but you should give them testosterone because it helps. I remember back in my personal training and workout days when your boy was juicy as well, I remember there were a few chicks that I was friends with who were also on the juice. After a few months, they got super strong. Their legs girthier, their glutes much girthier, juicy. Did they grow a little bit of thicker coat on their arms? Just a little bit. I wasn't one to point that out. I definitely complimented them on their derriere and said, keep up the good work. Did I encourage them? I wasn't giving them steroids, but did I, you know, fucking look and say, nice titty? Yes, 100%. Could they squat way more? Of course they could. Could they beat your boy? No. You know, but times have changed. Now, I'm not saying I could do those things now. I've not been on steroids for many years. I'd like to get on them at one point down the line, around 40. I'll get on them probably around 40. That's when I want to do my, you know, body weight squatties and all that shit. But it's in it. The seed has been planted. Your boy's gonna get on steroids. Just not too much like I did in my, you know, 19, 20. That was juicy. That was juicy times. But I will definitely get on them. Nonetheless, if you want your girl to have a chance, is what I'm saying. If she's not injecting herself in the neck or in the jugular with some sort of testosterone, then she definitely doesn't have a chance. And I guess she doesn't want to be a winner. And I guess you could just quit your complaining, because that's what it is right now. Until we get a trans league, if you think your daughter has to have because if they're doing, if that's what it is, if if you're like, oh, I wanted to win, I wanted to get the scholarship, I wanted to join a team and go pro in whatever sport she happens to be, she's not going to beat some tranny shot putter with just her regular amounts of testosterone and estrogen that she's mostly made up of. She's going to need external help. Okay? Take a trip down to Mexico or just go online, steroids.com, get yourself a bundle. There's packages out there and just start stabbing her with needles full of juice. All right? Yes. A little bit of extra hair on the arms. Her clit is probably going to get enlarged. That's what happens. That's over time though, not initially. I would say maybe not in the first year or two. But if it's going to be continuous, she's going to have a larger clit. And those are decisions you're going to have to make and be happy with. And, you know, larger clit, closer to gold. Hairier arms, first, second, third place, a contender. Regular size clit. Where is she? Can't see her. All the way in the fucking back because she's regular female running with regular female legs. She's not good because there's this tranny right here jumping like 20 feet further than everybody else. So put on steroids today. Do not deprive your daughter of a chance of happiness, success, gold, and advertising. Advertising. Let her get sponsored by a bunch of drink companies, Monster, Gatorade, smoking cigarette companies, NASCAR, Raid bug spray. She could be brought to you by Raid bug spray, which again is meant for bugs and insects, but works on people too. Not in the same way as it does on bugs, but pretty affordable. For $10, you get to just, get your daughter on steroids. I'll be back again next time on Friday. In the meantime, love my niggas. I'll see you guys soon. Peace out. Get out of here.